Hi everybody, welcome to the Egg Sandwich Show. And today we're going to do the Halloween egg sandwich because we're only 2 days from Halloween. We were going to do the Afro-American egg sandwich today, but I couldn't find any Afro-American guests to be on the show. I'm still trying, but I didn't get any applications from the black community. I only got white applications, and so we weren't able to have that today. So consequently, we don't have any guests on today's show. We were able to get 2 white guests to join us, but they were sick today. So I'm going to have to go it alone. That's okay, because we've got a pretty good show today. Once again, we're going to start with a preheated pan right there. And I'll just go ahead and crack the egg. We don't really need to go over this with the group here, because I've done this many times before. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. We've got the ingredients all laid out today. We've got the eggs, the butter, the cheese, Kraft cheese, white bread, and no, we're not going to use a pumpkin today. But what we're going to use is what I consider to be one of the scariest meats in the world, and hence we're having it for Halloween. And I want you to know something about this meat. I have never in my life eaten this meat before. I have never even seen it out of the can. So this is kind of an experiment for me today as well. I'm a little bit afraid to eat the meat that I'm about to eat. And maybe it's all for naught. Maybe it's got an undeserved bad reputation. I don't know. But we're going to give it a go today. So let's go ahead and see what this meat is that is so scary. I'm going to reach into the pumpkin. Let's see if I can get it out of here. There you go. Spam. I've never had Spam before. I read the ingredients that are in here and it doesn't look that scary. I don't know why I'm so scared of it. Basically it just says it has, let me see if I can find the ingredients. Here they are. No, that's the cooking instructions. Here it is. Pork. Ingredients. Pork with ham. I thought ham was a pork product. Salt, water, modified potato starch. That might be a little scary. Sugar and sodium nitrite, or salt. I think that's what sodium nitrite is. So there's the Spam. I've never even opened up a can in my life. I think this is what makes a good cook. That, you know, any cook can take stuff that they've done before and prepare a nice meal. I will take stuff I have never seen in my life. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't even know how to open the can. And I'm still going to make a good meal out of it. Because I'm going to use the basic premise that any meat cooked long enough will taste just fine. So let's go ahead and open this. This isn't going so well. I busted the top right off the thing. Now I don't have any way to open the can. Maybe I have a can opener. That's very unfortunate. Most cooks, especially on a cooking show like this, would get flustered. Not me. Because any good cook, I'm prepared with a can opener. So all I have to do is figure out how to use it. No, I know how to use a can opener. I'll just open the sucker. Just like that. Just like it was a regular can. You know, somebody's going to have to talk to Hormel about their little pop-top thing. Because that's a little bit aggravating. You know, that shouldn't happen. Especially on the show. And they will send this film to Hormel. Now let's see. I don't know if I got that seal all the way broken. I'm also going to use a knife because I couldn't get that seal there. There we go. Ooh, that popped right off. Take a look. Ooh, that's just pink as a baby's butt right there, isn't it? Let me take a sniff. Doesn't smell so good. It says that there's 6 servings in here. That means I'm going to try and cut it up into like 6 slices. But how do I do that? Ugh. That smell is rough. I'm going to need a bigger knife. No, that's not big. Let's get a really... There you go. I'm going to cut this. I don't think I can cut this into 6 because that just seems to be too chunky for this type of smelling meat. I don't really need to hold it with. So I'm going to cut it into thin slices, just like this. From what I understand, This meat is very popular in one state in the United States. And you'll never guess what that state is, unless you live in that state. Go ahead and guess. I'm going to just give you a second to guess before I give it away. Let's see how many of you guys get it right. Nope, most of you are wrong. The state that eats the most Spam is Hawaii. And after that, the territory that eats the most is Guam. So it must be like a Pacific Island thing. And the reason I got this idea to use Spam was from Christine's video, because I saw that her mom was cooking up a bunch of Spam and didn't look that bad. So Christine is HappySlips. So you can watch her videos, they're very funny. That's where I got this idea from. The other thing about Spam is it's got a bad reputation. I don't know why. I think it's just because of the way it looks. And during the World War II, they used to serve this to all the troops, and they served it to them 4 or 5 times a day. How's that egg coming? I don't want to burn that egg. You have to keep a half an eye on the egg. I'm getting so consumed with the Spam, I almost forgot about my egg. I got to just turn that over. Anyway, they fed it to them 3 or 4 times a day, so it got a bad name just because of the overuse. But if you remember back to World War II, we won that war. Mainly because of Spam. So don't knock Spam too much. I mean, it's got a bad name because it's been, you know, the email Spam has given it a bad name as well. I don't think, if we wouldn't have called the email junk mail Spam, this Hormel would sell a lot more Spam than what they do today. All right, this egg looks just about done. And again, I don't want that yolk to be overcooked, and it's not. Once again, I very rarely will mess up that yolk. You want to take a look at that? So, in the same grease that I cooked the egg, I'm going to start lacing this pan with Spam. I don't think you need any Pam to spray on the pan for the Spam, do you? I don't think so. Let's start laying these pieces on here. And if I sense that they're burning, I'll put a little more butter in. I like the sizzle. I don't like not having enough butter in this, so I'm going to put a little more butter in there. See how this goes. A pan. I'm not worried about ruining the Spam because in my mind, Spam is a very scary meat and it's already ruined. But the other thing I understand about Spam is, like, unlike other meats, it doesn't go bad. It never goes bad. You can put it on the shelf like forever, just like that. It won't go bad. So it must have something good in it to keep it from going bad. And that's why they served it in World War II, was because you could just be out there in the field in the snow or the ice or the broad hot sun, holding a piece of Spam. You got a Spam in one hand, and your bayonet in the other, and you can go now and go get the enemy. And this thing would just last all day long. And the other thing that made it last all day long is nobody liked it, so you'd only take little bites. So we'll find out that in World War II, we basically won the war on that stuff. All right, so I'm going to turn this up a little bit, just because I want it to cook faster for the video. Some of the things about Spam that a lot of you probably don't know, that Hawaii, the state of Hawaii, they consume 5.5 cans of Spam per person per year. Way more than any other state. And remember, I grew up in New Jersey and we had plenty of Spam available. My mother never bought this once. And I don't really know why, it's just pork. Well, I do know why. You can look at it. Stuff looks nasty. And when I opened it, when I opened this can, seriously, because of the sliminess on the meat and the smell, I almost gagged when I opened the can. So that would prevent some sales, I would think. You know, they have like a Spam convention, a Spam festival in Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii a few times. But next time I'm going to plan my trip, I'm having trouble flipping this Spam over. It's slippery. It's slippery even after you cook it. There we go. You just got to have the neck. Remember, I've never cooked Spam before. And look how well I'm doing right off the bat. That's because I'm a chef. If I was just a regular guy, I wouldn't know how to do this because I'd never done it before. But because I'm a chef, I know how to do this properly. And you can go ahead and get the uncooked juice on top of the cooked juice, because remember, as I said earlier, Spam never goes bad. And I think that's because it's not real meat. I'm not even sure it's real food. But I'm not concerned with whether it's real meat or real food. What I'm concerned about is that it tastes good. All right? Because that's why we have these classes. I'm going to go ahead and start the bread now. And let me get a couple more of these in, just so that I want to make sure if this stuff actually comes out good, I want to make sure there's lots of it. So I'm going to fill my pan up with Spam. And if you'll notice here, I don't have much room, so I pick one of the smaller, thinner pieces, and I lay that right, and it fits in there perfectly. Look at that. All right, so that's nice. Let's go ahead and get the bread started. Spam is made by Hormel. There's a number of plants all over the United States. We have one right here in Wisconsin in Beloit. You can't miss that plant. As you're driving down to Illinois, driving down to Chicago, you look over to your right off of Highway 90, and there's the Spam plant. And the Spam headquarters is also off of Highway 90 in Austin, Minnesota. And that's in the southern part of Minnesota. You guys can look it up on Google Earth or just Google or whatever you want to look it up, MapQuest. They sell, it's the 120th favorite supermarket item. Okay, so if you rank everything in the supermarket from the top seller down to the bottom, there's probably like thousands of things, you know. It's 120. Out of all that stuff in that supermarket, Spam is 120. Now I know the Hawaiians boost that up a lot because they buy 6 cans per person. And you figure a lot of those people are people like you or I that are scared of the meat, so they're not buying any. So that means the other part of the population is really ramping up on this. And if you'll notice in Christine's video, she's Filipino. So Philippines are kind of close to Guam, which I said is the other top consumer. So I think there's something oceanic about this whole thing. Maybe it goes well with rice or pineapple, I don't know. But for some reason, the people in the Pacific Islands like to eat this stuff. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Let's see how we're doing here. I am going to cook the daylights out of this, as I usually do with most of my meats that I'm a little bit afraid of. With Spam, too, you can eat this raw. I read that. You can just take this. I won't do it because it gags me. But you're able to just take a can of that and eat it raw. I think that's what the soldiers did. And maybe that's why they didn't like it. I don't know. If we have anybody here that was in World War II that's watching this show, if you could kind of verify this, because most of the information that I'm giving you today came off of an 8th grader's book report that I found on the internet. So, you know, I generally find 8th grade book reports to be pretty informative and usually pretty factual. And that's where I got all my information on Spam today, just so you know. And I've also been criticized for putting my bread right on the counter. I don't want to get that criticism again. Because I'm a very sensitive guy. When I get criticism, it kind of cuts right to my heart. So, this week, I burned it too much. You know why? Because I was concentrating on the Spam. Oh well. I'm not going to just cook another egg. I mean, think about it. This is really just an egg sandwich show, right? I mean, how important is this show? It's important enough for you to be watching it right now while you're at work, but really in the scheme of things, it's not that important. That's another problem. I've been getting calls from employers about complaining that their employees are watching my egg sandwich show at work, and they don't mind them really watching, you know, non-work related videos at work. What they do mind is when those videos are a half-hour long, like my egg sandwich show. It really cuts into productivity. But so I would encourage you to watch these after work or before work or on the weekend. I make them on the weekend, but I don't put them out for Monday. I understand that a lot of you guys can't wait like a whole week to watch the Egg Sandwich Show. So you want to watch it while you're at work. And a lot of you guys have lousy computers at home, but you have good computers at work that do the streaming video pretty well. So that's why you're watching it at work. So maybe if you just like watch it during your lunch hour, during your coffee break, and some of you guys that are smokers, even better, because you take smoke breaks every 20 minutes. So you can get like a 10-minute, how long does it take to smoke a cigarette? Like 5, 10 minutes, depending on how you do the draw. I don't know, I don't smoke, but I imagine there's ways. Anyway, 5, 10 minutes to smoke the cigarette. Instead of smoking that cigarette, you can be watching my egg sandwich video, and that way you'll kick your habit just because of these egg sandwiches. Just a tip, you don't have to take it, but I think it's a good tip, and I think you will live longer if you watch my egg sandwich show instead of going out on your smoke break. Let's see. Oh man. And this is how it looked when Christine's mother was cooking it. Can you get a close-up? Okay, thank you. My wife again, Ann, is filming the show. Do you mind if I do a little shot of you here, Ann, today? She does mind. All right, I guess she gave me the nod. Because she knows she's not supposed to talk. Remember we had that problem in one of the first videos where my wife would just start talking? The cameraman, you'll notice like a Leno or Letterman or any of those shows, the cameraman doesn't just start talking. They always stay silent because why? They're a cameraman. They're not supposed to talk. My wife is being very good about that today. Now, I don't know if Spam is okay, if that's a valid meat for the Jewish and the Muslim religions. I don't think it is today. It's pig product. Yeah, that's right. It's still from a pig. And from what I find out, again, this is from that 8th grade book report, Spam is from the leftover parts of the shoulder of the pig. It's not just like, a lot of people think it's from the pig snout or the pig butt or the pig whatever. It's not. It's leftover pig parts, yes, but all those parts are from the shoulder. I mean, how bad can that be? That's all right. And that's why I decided to go ahead and give this a shot. You know, if it was really from all those different parts of the pig, I would have trouble putting this down. That'd be a fear factor type thing. You can't eat it raw. Would you like a piece of this, honey? She's shaking her head horizontally. And in this culture, because I know this stuff is watched all over the world, but when you shake your head like this, in this culture, in the United States, that means no. So, you know, one of the comments I've had on my show is that regardless of whether I have anything to say or not, I keep talking. My mouth keeps moving and words keep coming out. I can talk forever about absolutely nothing for as long as you guys would like me to talk. And I'm doing the same thing today. Except I'm talking about Spam. But most of the stuff that I'm saying, I know you guys didn't know before. So that makes it informative. Okay, come on in here. Like I do with a lot of my meats, let's take a look at this. I put the hot sizzling meat right on the cheese to melt that. So in a sense, the meat is still cooking because it's still got hot grease on it. The cheese is still being melted because it's got hot grease on it. I'm going to cut it diagonally as I always do. And this knife has uncooked Spam juice on it, which I think is okay because in the 8th grade book report it said that Spam never goes bad. So that means that the juice can't be that harmful. Let's take a taste. My daughter will get that. It doesn't taste bad. Let me take another bite. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like New Jersey pork roll. This stuff is fantastic. Now, it could be the way I prepared it. It could really be bad meat, but the way I prepared it, because I'm a chef, came out fine. But I think the meat is okay. In fact, I would buy this meat again. That is really fantastic meat. Well, that's the end of our show for today. I just want to thank Christine for the idea of using Spam And for all these years, I've been scared of this meat, and there has been absolutely no reason. So, thank you again for watching the Halloween egg sandwich. This was a huge success because even I learned something this week. Thank you.